He does not command armies. He commands belief. Where discipline falters, his voice rises. Where fear spreads, his words ignite fury. Scripture in one hand, a weapon in the other, and the certainty that dying in faith is better than living without it. This is the Ministorum Priest, the Imperium sermon given legs.
Welcome back to Brush and Blood, where we paint Warhammer miniatures and explore the ideas that turn belief into violence. Today, we're painting the Ministorum Priest, and quick clarification right up front, this is not the Ministorum Priest with the Vindictor. This is the classic battlefield preacher, the one who walks with infantry, leads charges, and turns sermons into momentum. We'll compare the two later, and why the Imperium needs both.
Let's get the paint flowing and make a miracle.
What is a Ministorum Priest? A Ministorum Priest is not a chaplain. He is not trained for restraint. He is a weaponized agent of the ecclesiarchy. Attached to guard regiments and Sor Rita's forces, his role is simple. Faith does not falter under fire. He preaches loudly. He repeats scripture endlessly. He reframes fear as heresy and death as triumph. Where commanders give orders, the priest gives meaning. Why the Imperium uses them? The Imperium understands something brutal. Hope asks questions. Faith gives answers. A Ministorum Priest exists to remove uncertainty. When soldiers hesitate, he reminds them, hesitation is sin. When morale collapses, he reframes survival as cowardice and sacrifice as victory. This isn't subtle inspiration, it's emotional pressure, applied constantly. The Imperium doesn't need every soldier to survive. It needs them to advance. And the Ministorum Priest ensures they do. Lore stories. Story 1. The sermon at Black Ridge Cross. At Black Ridge Cross, an Astra Militarum line was breaking. Artillery shattered trenches. Officers were dead. Retreat orders began to spread. The Ministorum Priest climbed onto the parapet. He raised his chainsword skyward and screamed scripture into the smoke. He named martyrs, promised absolution, declared the mud beneath their boots sacred ground. Then he jumped into no man's land alone. The guardsmen followed. They survived not because they were better trained, but because stopping felt worse than dying. Story 2, the fire of Saint Helix. During the purge of Helix Reach, the sisters were pinned under brutal fire. Heavy weapons locked the streets. A chaos countercharge was forming. The line was seconds from collapse. The Ministorum Priest stepped into the open. Bolter rounds cracked past him. Shrapnel tore his robes. He raised his weapon and began to preach, not a prayer, a condemnation. He shouted the enemy's sins into the smoke.
You chose false gods over truth. You turned brother against brother. You traded duty for comfort. You spat on the Emperor's mercy and called it freedom. Confess or burn!
You chose false gods over truth. You turned brother against brother. You traded duty for comfort. You spat on the Emperor's mercy and called it freedom. The enemy hesitated. Then the priest roared one final sentence. Confess or burn. He charged. The sisters followed screaming hymns. Bolters blazing, blades raised. Faith hit the enemy line like a hammer. When the smoke cleared, the heretics were broken. The priest collapsed minutes later, wounds finally claiming him. Before he died, he whispered, "Let the fire remember them." The sisters named the battlefield Helix's Fire, This priest versus the Vindictor priest. There are two very different Ministorum priests in the Imperium. This Ministorum priest, mobile, leads charges, buffs, morale, and aggression, walks with the troops. He is faith as momentum. The Vindictor Ministorum priest, more static. Execution, focused, represents punishment and judgment. Less inspiration, more consequence. He is faith as enforcement. One pushes soldiers forward. The other makes sure none step back. Both are necessary. Pop culture and video game parallels. You've seen the Ministorum Priest archetype everywhere, especially in video games. He's the morale engine. In games like Battlefield, he's the player screaming, "Push now," reviving teammates under fire, throwing smoke, charging objectives everyone else is afraid to touch. In RPGs and strategy games, he's the buffing zealot, boosting melee damage, increasing attack speed, reducing fear or suppression, turning fragile units into threats. He doesn't deal the most damage. He unlocks aggression. Compare that to the Vindictor priest. The Ministorum priest is the player who dives first and forces momentum. The Vindictor priest is the one holding the line, punishing mistakes. One plays offense, one enforces consequences. Same faith, two playstyles, and the Imperium uses both. Real-world parallel. Battlefield priests? History has real Ministorum priests. During World War I, chaplains were often seen moving through shellfire, dragging wounded men back, or standing openly during attacks. At the Battle of Loos, one British chaplain advanced with assault troops, holding a cross aloft while shouting prayers. Men followed him, not because it was tactically sound, but because seeing him stand made retreat feel impossible. He survived. Many around him did not. Faith doesn't stop bullets, but it can make men walk into them. Psychology of zeal, this is called identity fusion. When belief becomes inseparable from self, people endure impossible stress. The Ministorum priest pushes soldiers past fear into total commitment. Retreat becomes moral failure. That is powerful and terrifying. The cost of burning faith. Ministorum priests rarely die peacefully. They burn out. They charge too often. They push too hard. They demand too much of themselves and others. Those who survive are often haunted by what they convinced others to do. Faith can move armies, but it always leaves scars. And there he is, the Ministorum priest, painted and ready to turn sermons into charges. On the tabletop, he doesn't lead quietly. He leads loudly and dares the galaxy to answer. Fun fact, some Ministorum priests record their sermons before battle, so even if they fall, their words continue to be broadcast. Disclaimer, not all lore and facts may be 100% accurate. This is just fun storytelling as I paint and bring these minis to life. Next time on Brush and Blood, we meet the voice of doctrine itself, the Sister Dogmata. Viewer question, which Ministorum priest is your favorite? Do you run the classic Ministorum priest or the priest with the Vindictor? And why? Does he earn a place in your army? Tell me in the comments and keep your brush steady.
Yes! Not too bad.
From the ashes of the cathedral, a single voice rises. Faith is her weapon.
Blaze eternal fire. Guide our hearts through war and night. Dogmata. Burn the darkness bright.